Hello from my new studio. Today I'm going to show you how I painted this abandoned house in the woods with gouache using a limited palette. And if you want, you can grab your sketchbooks and join in. So I hope you enjoy. I'm in my new studio. Moved in this weekend. It was actually my birthday present to myself because Wolfie was like, "What do you want to do for your birthday? We can do anything." And all I wanted to do was move in, organize my space, get settled in, and just get cracking on with some art. So this has been really nice. But as some of you know, unfortunately this weekend during the move, I lost my hard drive. And by that I mean it crashed during the move. It fell physically and died. And so the studio vlog that I had been working on for 3 weeks doesn't exist anymore. I definitely had to take a day off after that one. That was pretty brutal. I felt like, who cares about the physical object? I was so upset about losing all that data. I lost a lot of footage. I even lost a lot of really nice drone shots and footage and photography from some recent hikes. But the time I put into that, to editing that vlog, as well as some other projects, is all gone. And that was upsetting. And I feel like a lot of times well, maybe it's different for everyone, but especially when you're self-employed and in order to make a living, you really have to schedule your time efficiently. If you want to do a lot of things, you got to find a way to fit everything into your schedule. And I got pretty good at that. And I can get a lot of work done in a single week. I was only days away from finishing the studio remodel as well as that video because I had been editing it as I went. And suddenly it felt like 40 to 60 hours of progress of work was suddenly gone. And it's like when you, or at least for me, I often, and I know this is bad, but I kind of think my self-worth is tied to how productive I am. And so I was really proud of myself, and I was proud of the video I was making and all of my accomplishments and being productive during that time, and it was gone. And I was suddenly left with basically like 3 files out of all of it. And I just felt really crappy. Not only did I lose my hard drive, which I had just bought recently, I lost all of that other stuff. So I felt really crappy. But I took the day yesterday and I just stepped away and I was like, okay, it happened. Now what? Move on. And eventually, like by the end of the day, I was actually like, okay, that really sucked, but it's just got to move on. And in a way, I kind of took it as a sign, like, stop freaking messing around with all this extra stuff. Studio vlogs and blah, 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 and just get to work. Like, start painting, make some art videos. Don't worry, I'm not going to completely stop making those other videos, but it's like I kind of realized I had been pushing art videos aside, and that's like what my whole channel is based on. So it was kind of a wake-up call. And suddenly I didn't have any new footage or anything to share this week, and I'm like, oh, this is probably a sign that I need to remember what my channel is about and make more art videos. I love making art videos. It's just that I got like really excited about my new studio, and I was having so much fun editing. I actually took a Skillshare class about editing, and I've been trying to improve my skills and make my videos more interesting. Whether it's transitions between clips, whether it's the way I film things, whether it's, I don't know, just everything. And I was just getting super excited about that vlog. But you know, it is what it is. I mean, have you guys ever had anything like that happen? I feel like a lot of people go through it at least once. And I actually had quite a big response when I posted about losing my hard drive. Both people saying, yeah, that's happened to me, that really sucks, and people trying to help me. And, you know, I'm so grateful when people want to help me. I'm not saying they were trying to help me financially, but they were like giving me advice about how to fix it or what I could try doing. But yeah, it's beyond recovery. Unless I can find someone who, the main problem is that most places that deal with data recovery and all of that are closed during the pandemic in my area. And I can ship it to Glasgow, but they quoted me over 400 pounds, which I absolutely can't afford. So I'm gonna just put it in storage for now, and I guess just try to keep my ear out or my eyes out for someone who does that kind of thing, and maybe if I can find a better deal, I'll go for it eventually. Maybe someday, you guys, you'll see the studio vlog, the studio remodel video. But I already ordered another hard drive because I was absolutely, I had no space left. That's the whole reason I bought that one in the first place. So I really needed another hard drive. I mean, I wouldn't even be able to make this video without another hard drive. So I already ordered that, should be here tomorrow. It's just one of those things. I just realized I always forget, like when I'm talking while I paint, that I don't think about what I'm doing as much. And I just stopped and looked at this and I was like, whoa, how did that happen? It's funny. Like I end up painting more intuitively, I guess. Right now I'm just filling in the background. So first I want to get lots of the major areas filled in, and then I can come back with more detail. Oh my gosh, I can hear the birds outside my window and a little breeze coming in, and it's so beautiful. It is very cold. It's like 3 degrees, but it's beautiful. And I went out for a little exercise earlier. I've started jump roping. And out of all of the cardio exercises I've tried in the last couple of years, jump roping is definitely the best. Like it hurts my joints the least and gets my heart rate up like immediately. And I only need to do a little bit to get a lot out of it. So that's been my go-to thing. But yeah, I went out earlier and it was deceivingly cold. I was like, whoa, okay, it's still winter. I got tricked recently though, because it was so nice for a few days. It was like over 10 degrees Celsius. And I was even outside painting a little, which I guess you saw if you watched my recent video. But that spoiled me suddenly, and I was like, it's spring! It's almost summer! Yeah! But nope. Mother Nature is like, ha ha, gotcha. So this is day 458, I think, of my 100-day challenge. This is a gouache, well, actually, it's an art challenge. You can do anything you want for it. For 100 days, I am doing gouache paintings every day and posting them on Instagram mostly, and also my blog. And it is a challenge, and that's why they call it a challenge, right? There's some days where I'm just like, oh God, I haven't done my painting yet, and it's like 5 p.m. The day just gets away from me so quickly. But it's because I'm so actively thinking about doing it every single day, I've actually been better about scheduling a little sketch session in. Because some days I just want to get cracking on with something. Like if I was recently working on a Skillshare class that I published this past weekend, and I just wanted to edit. I didn't want to stop and paint. I just wanted to get that done and get it out. But the challenge was in the back of my mind screaming at me like, no, just take a few minutes, take some time and paint. And I'm so glad, because I would have gone a few days without even picking up my paints. And it's so much better when you are more consistent. Like, even if you paint all the time, if you're an artist, full-time artist or not, like if you paint all the time, but then suddenly you take some time off, it's noticeable. If I go a few days without painting and I get back into it, I feel so rusty. So this challenge has been really good to keep me going, keep me on the right track. And also the cool thing is, because I'm doing a painting every day, if I start doing the same thing over and over and over again, it's way more noticeable to me. So my mistakes are more noticeable. Falling back on things that are comfortable is way more noticeable. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that if you just want to paint and have fun and enjoy the experience and not worry at all. But I am really trying to grow my skills. I really want to push myself further. And so when I do it day after day, I really do catch myself if I'm feeling too comfortable. So one thing that has helped me is I actually will change my color choices a lot. So recently I've been doing a lot of these canyon pieces. I mean, bright desert, sunny canyon pieces. And that was a very specific color palette. Bright magentas, bright oranges, deep purples. And that compared to well, even these ones, but today I'm using very muted colors, totally different choices. I'm using like earthy tones and deep Prussian blue. And there's a drastic difference between that, in not only how it looks in the end, but how I mix things, how I think about color and light in the landscape. So that is a huge benefit of changing a color palette. And I always work with a limited color palette anyway, like 3 to 5 colors, and that is really helpful. But yeah, if you're stuck, if you feel like you're not really progressing, or maybe want to get slightly outside your comfort zone, try a new color combination, because, well, it works for me. It gets me every time. And I also, of course, try different subjects. So I do lots of landscapes, obviously, you guys know that, but lately, or in the at least in these two and a couple, I think a couple weeks ago, I was doing those doors. I painted a bunch of door scenes, so it's not like super architectural, but it's very different than my usual thing. I mean, stuff like that, very weird, like graphic stuff. I was just trying something different. I was trying to branch out a little bit and get away from my typical stuff. And that is a huge challenge. Today I'm doing castle ruins and stuff, and I did a little castle ruin yesterday, and today I'm doing more of like an abandoned house kind of thing in the woods. And even just with that little amount of architecture, it's such a challenge. If it wasn't for that, I feel like I would already be done by now, because I would have done one big layer and then worked up my tree layer and blah, 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 blah. So now I'm like carefully painting around it and thinking about how the light is falling on the land and how, so what I'm thinking for this is the light's coming kind of over here. So it's going to be a little brighter, and maybe there'll be some spots of lightness here, and maybe just the edge of the house is catching the light, but it's a little bit spookier and darker on this side. So as I go to the left, I'm gonna kind of slightly warm up my greens here and there, or at least get a little more variety, because this is all dark, it'll kind of just fade off into the background eventually. You won't really, it's more of like a supporting area, supporting character. And then over here, there'll be a lot more detail. There's also gonna be a little stream running across here, and some trees kind of in the foreground that will just help balance the composition a little bit. So anyways, I'm gonna paint for another maybe 5 minutes or so, and maybe you guys, maybe I'll put some music on for you so you can just chill with me. All right. I've been sitting here like talking to myself. Might as well talk to you guys, right? Or I guess I don't need to talk the whole time. I feel a little rusty with doing these paint and chat videos. I feel like, oh, they need something happening. They either need talking, or they need audio or music or something. But sometimes just painting and silence is okay. Maybe you can hear some of the birds and wind and stuff. I don't know. But usually I paint for a little while in silence, and then I have something to say. But I guess I would like to know if you guys prefer videos where I'm talking like this, or if I have music, or the ones where I have music and maybe like a voiceover thing, a voice, like I'm narrating it slightly. I like doing all the different kinds of videos. For a tutorial, I feel like this kind of thing, or having my voiceover is better. Well, the voiceover is much easier, I should say, because painting and talking at the same time is way harder. Painting in silence and then talking over and explaining what I've been doing after the fact, that's so much easier. I personally like watching this kind of video where I'm watching someone paint and talk at the same time, even if they're not even talking about the painting. It's kind of like, it just is this cozy feeling. It makes me feel like I'm next to them painting, and I'll often be sketching or painting while that's playing in the background, and it just is nice. It's like having company. So if you're doing the same thing, then awesome. We will keep each other company. Oh yeah, so going back to the studio remodel thing, I do have a couple clips from the past few days where I was like installing the pegboards and installing the shelves and organizing things, putting things away. But I lost all of the footage where I was actually building things and spray painting and doing lots of the in-between messy work, which was the fun stuff. Well, I have to say, it was really tiring and annoying at times, but I think that was like the fun footage to watch. But since I can't get it back, at least not right now, I'm thinking I might just do a little studio tour video. I don't know if you guys want to see that. I have some things in place that I think are really helpful to see if you have a small space. I have a really tiny room. It's 70 square feet. So I had to get creative with my storage and with displaying things and just the layout in general. So I kind of wanted to share some things that I learned along the way, and maybe some ideas for others if they're in the market for a new studio or a studio makeover. But it will have to be like a shorter video since I lost a lot of the footage. It'll be maybe more relaxing, like showing some of the clips where I'm just installing the final things and organizing things, and then a little tour. Hopefully it'll still be nice. I like watching studio tours. I like watching makeover videos. I watch a lot of home makeovers and built from scratch videos. I watch tons of van life conversion videos. I watch tons of small space videos like tiny living and cabin videos. I love watching off-grid living videos. I think I watch art videos like half the time, and the rest of the time it's a lot of like living videos. Does that make sense? Like seeing how someone lives in a tiny home, a tiny cabin in the woods, in the middle of nowhere, off-grid, in Sweden or Australia or something, Canada, and extreme weather and stuff. I don't know, it just fascinates me. And someday Wolfie and I would love to have a cabin in the woods, so maybe that's part of it. Like I put myself in their shoes, and I really like seeing how they handle things. Okay. Get a little water filled in, and then we'll do the castle. Or I call it a castle. It's like an abandoned house. One thing I still need to get set up in here is a tabletop easel, because I have really extreme neck pain and back pain when I stream and when I do longer painting sessions, because my paper's flat on the desk and I'm here hunched over it because I have to like lean in to see things, which is just so bad for my neck. And I do have a couple tabletop easel type options. I just need to actually get them out and try a couple setups. I mean, I can't keep it in here permanently on the desk. I could like have it on the desk when I'm painting and then tuck it away, I guess. But yeah, it's an issue that I need to address. I love how whenever I hear birdsong and wind in the trees, even if I'm in a horrible mood, whatever's happening, like it just wakens my spirit. I just want to go outside. If it's cold, if it's windy, if it's snowy, if it's rainy, whatever. It's just like drawing me out there. And it's that time of year too where I start to feel stir crazy. Like it's almost spring. The other day when I was painting in the forest, I just felt so alive for the first time in a while. So I was talking about this on my Twitch stream on Monday, that I really want to start figuring out a way to stream outside. So I did a couple outdoor streams when I lived in Inverness, but it was really glitchy and I just didn't put enough time into figuring it out properly. It was awesome and I think people still enjoyed it, but the signal was so bad. That's my main problem. Also, I can't do it all the time because of data issues. It takes a lot of data. But even if I do like a 1 hour stream, 2 hour stream outside, hopefully that will help me just be out there more often this summer. Because with my luck, last summer, every single time I needed to stream, like I schedule my streams and I try to stick to that schedule, it was the most gorgeous day of the week. And I was like, it just never failed. So, you know, if I figure out how to stream outside, then that won't be an issue. Oops, my battery died, but we're okay. Now it's time to fill in the house. I think what I'll do is stone. Like slightly lighter, possibly. I'll do like a base color and then come back with words. Do a base color of stone and then come back with the details, the shadows, highlights, all that fun stuff. But at least this, if I do it in chunks, I won't like lose any of the drawing. That's always the tricky part because I spend time drawing it and then I paint one layer over it and it's gone. So if you do it in chunks, it's a little bit easier. You still lose a little. Trying to use careful marks. I don't know if you can see how trembly, what is the word? My hand is really shaky. My gouache is drying out. This is why you have a spray bottle nearby. Also, I need a tiny bit of permanent alizarin crimson because I love using that to mix my black, my dark colors. I can mix it with my greens, with my blues, with anything, and it makes the most gorgeous blacks. There's lots of shadow under here. I'm keeping the overall tone of this pretty blue. The overall palette of this abandoned house pretty blue. There we go. Okay. I wanted to get it a little closer. I'm sorry if you can hear lots of noise in the background. Wolfie is home this week, so you can hear him. Maybe also sometimes the kitties make noise. The only thing I don't like about doing well, not that I don't like it. The thing about doing architecture is that I get so obsessed with the little details. It's hard for me to stay kind of loose and fresh. But it is really good practice for lighting because the light changes on the different planes, different angles of the roof and the siding of the house and of the building and all of that. So I don't know, it's really good practice, but it's tricky. And of course, I just realized that my background doesn't go all the way to the house, so I have to kind of fill in the extra trees. Starting to get there. Probably looks crazy right now, but that's how it goes. That is, I think that is one of the trickiest things, is when you're doing a piece that has a lot of detail in one area, is painting around the drawing so you can still see it, but painting enough where it's covering the paper. Because if you don't, I mean, it's really easy to let some of that white show through on accident, by accident, and you don't want to do that. At least not usually. Sometimes you do, I guess. Soon I'm gonna have to switch to my small brush because there's lots of like little stone pieces that need detail. There's also lots of little bushes that are overgrowing in front of it. So for now I'm just laying in, the base color, and then I can paint over that. I want to keep it looking old. Don't want it to be too crisp because it needs to look weathered. All right, I'm gonna switch to my small brush now because it's just getting too hard to keep the detail. Okay. I've been in such a mood to draw landscapes lately, which is so funny. It's like I always do this. I'm currently doing a challenge where I have to paint with gouache every day, but what I really want to do is draw. And I swear, if I was doing a challenge where I was drawing every day, all I would want to do is paint. Like, you know, does anyone else go through this? It's like you want, it's not that I can't have it, I can do all the things, but it's just a matter of how much time in the day I have. But it's like I want the things I can't have. Or maybe it's like I'm telling my brain no, and then my brain is like, what do you mean no? I want it. Give it to me. Not sure how. I'm kind of going for like a, not really a thatched roof, but a very weathered brown roof. Using my dry brush because I love it. It's like a little side door there, but there's going to be stuff growing other side. I'm trying to think of where I'm gonna go. So in Scotland, the lockdown is gonna be eased soon, which means we'll be able to go further than 5 miles, and we don't have to have, right now you can only leave your house basically for like serious reasons like doctor, work, groceries. But soon, I think it said early April, it's gonna be lifted and we can start going a little further. I can start going hiking in the Cairngorms. I can go to the coast again. I've missed the coast so much. And we're pretty close to the coast. It's like just 5 miles away. Well, the really pretty area I like to go to is like a half an hour away. And I can't wait. I have my favorite spots that I'm gonna go to first, I think. And yeah. Do some painting, do some just walking around and enjoying it. Sit on the beach even if it's freezing. And just soak it all in. Miss the ocean, the sound of the waves. I am so lucky that I live in an area where I have everything. I love the coast with the ocean, the forests, the dense forests, the mountains. Just those are closer to me than the coast. It's really amazing. But you definitely feel how much you miss it when you're not allowed to go, like in the lockdown. It's suddenly really shows you what you truly love to do when you can't do it. Oh, and I just realized that means restaurants will be open again. Well, eventually. I'm not sure if they're going to open right away, but that will be amazing. We went to one restaurant this year, the entire year. That sounds so crazy when I say it out loud. I mean, we always try to save money. We don't like go out all the time, or we weren't going out all the time, but I mean, a few times a year, even just like to the Chippy, just little places here and there. If you're driving, if you're on a road trip and you just want to like stop somewhere, like that just didn't exist this year. Well, road trips didn't really exist either. We were really lucky that we made it to the Isle of Skye before the lockdown went into like major lockdown. You know what I mean? It was close. We missed it by like a couple weeks or something, or no, maybe even 1 week. And I know every country's different. Everyone's got different lockdowns and rules and stuff. It's like my friends in the US were telling me that like a lot of places weren't locked down. They could pretty much do normal stuff all year. It's like, what? That's crazy. Not crazy, but well, yeah, it is to me. In a pandemic, they were like just going shopping, going to the taco store or something. Taco store. Why would there? I don't think there are taco stores. Jeez, it shows you how long it's been. Sarah, you need to get out more. Well, I would if things were open. All right, I think we'll call this one soon. Or the castle part, at least. I mean, I keep keep saying castle, the abandoned house part. Because I want to do more detail in the foreground. Oh, also, don't forget, I was talking about this earlier, there are overgrown bushes and stuff in the foreground that kind of grow. I won't make them cover the house because I still want to be able to see that, but here and there needs to be some roughage in front of it to make it obvious that it's overgrown. I was thinking about what I want my next Skillshare class to be. Well, I don't even know if I mentioned this before, but my goal is to try to do one class per month. That's not always possible because it's a lot of work. And I know I've already missed some months, but you know, that's a goal. I try to work towards it. And I realized I've never really done a tutorial about like nighttime painting, nighttime scenes, nighttime atmosphere. So I thought that would be a really good topic. And I don't even paint that much of it. I understand the concepts of it, but it'll be really good practice for me, a refresher almost. And I think I'll do a few scenes for my 100-day challenge and kind of get into that mode and then see if I want to record some tutorials. So let me know if you might be interested in that or if you have other ideas for topics. I've done quite a variety already, but there's so many things. I have a whole Word document that I keep that I want to, with ideas that of classes I want to do, videos that I want to do. A lot of time at night when we're just hanging out, watching shows or just chilling on the couch, I will, whatever idea pops in my head, I'll just grab my iPad and enter it into the spreadsheet, into the Word document. And it's adding up. There's not enough time to do it all. I mean, if I say this, a big if I had an assistant to do lots of the other things, I could devote way more time to creating videos and tutorials and stuff, but it's just not my reality right now. Maybe someday. Kind of like this idea, as I was painting, I got this idea of like a little path coming through here. Oops. Need to sort of darken it back here a little bit again. Oh no, I'm splashing it. Don't splash your gouache paintings because the dots, if you let the water droplets dry on it, you'll end up with like these really weird splotches. I love the idea of like all this overgrown brambles and bushes. Scratchy dry brush texture is the best. But I do want to add those trees in the foreground that I was mentioning. And I also need more white. My white dries the fastest, and it's really frustrating when you aren't working with fresh white. It's the one I always refill the most. And now that the stream is dry, I can add a bit of glimmer on the water. because if I don't, it'll look just kind of like a dirt path or something, which, well, whatever. It's fine if it does. In my head, it's a stream. Shifting from like shadowy to bright over here. And of course I'll need some pure white speckles here and there. Some breaking up some of that. Oh, you know what? I should probably have like a chimney in one area at least. If I can even add that now. I don't know if it'll show up. I like lost all the mixed colors I was mixing before over here in the house, so remixing and trying to color match with gouache is so hard. I struggle with that. Well, it's really subtle, but it's there. And then we need flat brush again. I really like using my flat brush for pine trees especially, because pine trees have that nice pointy shape, and if you turn it to the side you get that like flat crisp edge. So you just need a vertical mark and you get the center of the tree. You can do the tree trunk and then turn it to the side like perpendicular, and you can get all the branches coming off of it. I mean, obviously this is very stylized. This is like the quick method of doing a pine tree, but then of course once you get the base like that, then you can come back with more detail. Ultimately you just want a bit of variety. So some of the trees I like to have leaning, or there'll be like a little bare here and there, so maybe like they won't have dense branches or pine needles all the way down, just maybe a bare spot in the middle or something. Because if you do it too repetitive, it's noticeable. It's like it catches the viewer's eye, and it's not supposed to. Like these are just supposed to be filling in the blanks and just like prompting us that this is a forest. Not supposed to be like stealing the attention, stealing the show. Some pine trees are leaning a lot. Also different heights, different thicknesses is helpful. Lots of dry brush over here. I almost like this thought that you happened upon this little abandoned house in the forest. Maybe I'm in like a spooky mindset because Wolfie is making me watch scary movies. Well, he's not making me. He convinced me to watch a couple, and they're not even that scary. So far we've watched Spawn. Well, that was kind of gross. And the original Spawn. We also watched what was it? Oh, The Crow. That was hilarious. They're both hilarious. They're like those old movies, 90s animation, 90s CGI. Oh my gosh. I think we watched another one. And we watched Zombieland. That was pushing it for me because I hate zombies. Like any kind of zombie movie freaks me out so much, but it was more funny than it was scary. It was really funny. I had a bunch of people recommending other zombie things to me, and I was just like, I don't know. If you know of any that are funnier than they are scary, then maybe. Wolfie loves scary movies and horror movies, and I am the opposite. But I think, like, he wants to desensitize me so that I can watch them with him and enjoy them too, which maybe will happen eventually. What other movies did you want me to watch?
The Exorcist? No.
Yeah, he'll never get me to watch The Exorcist or anything like that. I don't think that's something I can handle.
The Evil Dead?
What?
The Evil Dead?
You want me to watch The Evil Dead? Alright, it's time for the tape peel, one of the best parts. I love getting rid of all that blue and suddenly the true colors are revealed. Or they're more obvious. And it really pops off the toned paper. Even though the sky looked super pale before, I mean it is pale, but now it really pops. There we go. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you made it this far, congrats. And of course, I appreciate it if you give the video a thumbs up and like it and all of that. Wait, that's the same. Okay, bye.